Hey everyone, it's time for some more Monster Hunter, and today we will be fighting the Rathen. The same thing as usual applies. We're going to go in, get it done, and probably do one or two other quests after that. I'll most likely be going in with a party, the same as before, because we are online at this time. That said, if you like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Now, I'm going to try my luck at eating again. I'm not exactly sure how the ingredients are decided. Maybe it's based on your room and your rank and everything else. I probably should try to upgrade my room now that I think about it. We'll see about getting that done with the next episode. Let me think. Let's do... Oh, this all sounds so gross. Let me do an ancorn and hardtack. I'm sure that's disgusting. Alright, cat, don't poison me. Oh, he's eating a lot more than usual, I think. Hey, okay. What buff do we got? It tasted normal. No buff, no debuff. Fair enough. That's what you get for going the safe option. So I know I said I was going to show off the guild hall. So here is the guild hall. You can't really do much. I believe these areas all go to different rooms. Now we can go up to the rook room. I believe that's the king room, and you get that for like getting into high rank or something. I think this guy is supposed to be like the manager of the guild hall. Or the manager of the inn, excuse me. And, of course, he's going to explain how everything works, but this isn't really a stream or anything where I'm kind of doing a long play, so I'm just going to not worry about that right now. Let's go up to the rook room just to check it out. As y'all can see, this is more of a... The last one, we were just in a broom closet or something. This one, it's more of a, you know, normal peasant-type room, I guess, for lack of a better term. This is like the average accommodation you can expect. But now that we've had a look at the guild hall, let's go out and hunt a Rathen. Now, I know I haven't been in the commons area of the town so far, so let me do a little run around here. So the smithy is all the way over on the left here. That's where you'll go in. You don't really see other players in there. It's just you. And you can, like, upgrade your weapons and buy and sell weapons. This is the tavern where you can go out and do your quests. That's normally where you see me after the room. This here is to the lobby. I think this is if you want to leave multiplayer and then go into this lobby here where you can enter towns. I think it's actually maxed out at up to 8 players per town. So you do need to be mindful of that. Like if you want to get a room with somebody but there's 7 players in, maybe go to a different group or to a different lobby. And then down here, you have your markets. There's actually, weirdly enough, 2 entrances there, but it's all the same place. Sometimes there are sales going on. If there are sales going on, the NPCs will let you know if you go around and talk to them. And you can buy, like, different things for discounts and the like. What I really like about the Monster Hunter Old School community is that no matter where you go, there's almost always at least one lobby that's pretty lively. And it can get quite busy even with just 8 people in. Alright, looks like I'll have one of my viewers joining me today. Their name is Skits. So this will be our first mission of the 2-star quest that we're hosting ourselves. This one will be Queen of the Desert. Now there's 2 different Rathen hunt quests you can do. One is for the desert and one is for the swamp. This one will be for the desert, so we'll need to make sure we buy enough cool drinks to last us for the mission. However, if I remember correctly, the Rathen should stay in the cooler spots. So let's go ahead and grab some cool drinks so we can be set and ready to go. I also believe we're already maxed out on whetstone, so we should be okay there. Just in case... I know Rathen runs a lot. Well, I actually don't have nets right now, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some potions, because we always need potions. As well as some small and large barrel bombs, just in case. Rathen does also have a tail attack that will poison you, so I am going to grab some antidotes. Looks like everyone is drunk and ready to go, so let's go ahead and start the quest. Oh, almost ready. Now everybody's drunk and ready to go. Let's go. So thankfully Rathen is a monster I've had a much easier time with in the past compared to Rathalos. Rathalos does charge a lot like Rathen, but Rathalos also likes to fly around everywhere and waste your time. To my knowledge, Rathen doesn't fly anywhere near as much, and I believe the lore explanation for that is because Rathen has a much larger, thicker frame. Don't take that out of context. Alright, looks like everyone already got a head start on me, so I'm gonna see if I can catch up. I had to deal with something real quick, but thankfully it's all dealt with now. I also just noticed my mouse cursor is on the screen. I swear I have OBS set to hide the cursor, but it does not hide the cursor. Of course, the Gen Prayer are being a nuisance as usual. and sniping me straight out of the... Oh, that's actually really good. We got another Vespoid card. We want as many of these parts as we can get for the Vespoid armor, because we need to hunt the Khezu in single player. I have decided that I want to try to go for a Lance. I have been trying to see if I can represent the weapons in each generation as much as possible. Something somebody was asking is, will I be using all the weapons in each generation of Monster Hunter? The answer is yeah, I'm going to try to use them at least a little bit. So I know with this one, I've been doing a lot of hammer and greatsword and sword and shield. Besides that, as soon as I get to Monster Hunter G, I'm going to be doing a lot of dual blades and some bowgun gameplay, both light and heavy bowgun. And if the Western changes for the hammer do take effect in Monster Hunter G, such as the double pound turning into the golf swing, then I will be playing the hammer as well. Because it is nice seeing how each weapon changes over each generation. I'm not 100% sure if I remember anything about the medium bowgun besides it exists, so it is going to be interesting to see what that is like. Rathen is pretty easy. All you really gotta do is just try to keep her stun locked as much as you can. Eventually she is going to charge, do her tail flip, and I believe sometimes whenever she's enraged, she'll do this triple fireball, and you have to be mindful of not getting hit by it. It does hit a wider area in front of her compared to Rathalos' normal, single fireball attack. Although I believe each fireball does less damage. Then again, she does come after Rathalos, so maybe each fireball does the same amount of damage, but as long as you're mindful, it's pretty easy to dodge. Honestly, you'd have an easier time dodging the fireballs than your team's friendly fire. Of course, I did get this weapon because it's not super overpowered, despite the grinding I've been doing in multiplayer. This weapon only has like 200 something raw damage, like 260 I think. But despite that, it does have a lot of green sharpness, which means it won't bounce anywhere near as much as most weapons around its strength level do. So I'll be honest, I hate bouncing. It's very frustrating, very annoying, so that's the main reason I got this lance. It's not super overpowered like the Babel Spear or anything like that, but at the same time, I won't be bouncing all the time and just wasting my time. You do gotta be careful though, because of how much Rathen charges, it can be difficult to find an opening to heal. Although, when you have a full party like this one, it does make it fairly easy. And I know one of them is using a strategy I was planning on employing on Rathalos. They have the Death Prize, or one of its variants that aren't quite as strong. But it does have a high paralysis rate, and with it being a sword and shield, it's very easy to proc the paralysis. Also, unlike Rathalos, whenever Rathen flies back, she doesn't do the fireball. So all I really have to worry about is wind pressure. The most dangerous thing really is her tail, but now that it has been severed, it'll be much easier to dodge her flip attacks. Although with these flip attacks, there's the wind pressure you gotta worry about. The bites aren't really too much of a big deal. I can't remember if her bites poison you, because I know she has that chin spike, and in lore, the chin spike does poison, and does inflict poison damage. I know in Monster Hunter World, you can actually break that chin spike. I actually want to see if I can break the chin spike. I don't think you can in this game, because I see the crown and the crest is already broken. Honestly, I am surprised at how many just breakable parts there are in general. I actually didn't think tail cuts came around. Besides, it's either Rathalos or one of the other monsters. But I didn't think actual proper tail cuts for most monsters didn't come around until like Monster Hunter Freedom or Monster Hunter Adults. So it is pretty interesting to see them in here. Looks like Rathen is already limping. If that one person can proc the paralysis, we should be pretty good to go on it. As I was saying, the Rathalos really is just one of the harder ones to fight in general in this game, just because of how much time it wastes. Rathen is a lot easier because she just does a lot of ground-based combat and charging and things like that, so as long as you can manage the charging and keep her isolated in one spot, then you don't have to worry about her running around everywhere and wasting your time. Of course, I did forget to store all of my items, again, so I'll be sure to do that as soon as we finish the mission. Although I was thinking about selling my Rathen parts, but I might get the Rathen armor. I really want to get the Rathalos armor, just because in Monster Hunter G, I want to finish the game with the Rathalos armor, because of that cinematic. You got the guy in Monster Hunter G with the, I know it's one of the end Iron Greatsword variants. I think it's called like the Devastator or something like that. But it's that one with where the spikes pop out of it. Kind of like the Vile Serpent Blade, except it's an iron sword instead of, a bone sword with animal parts on it. It's really neat. But I want to try to get the Rathalos armor and that greatsword so that I can emulate that Monster Hunter G trailer whenever I download my character file onto that game. Of course, with this being a hunt quest, the rewards are pretty generous. I'm surprised we actually didn't get a large monster bone, but we did get some medium monster bones. That'll be useful for some upgrading. I think this would be a good time to show off the market, so let's go ahead and head there. I believe you have a few different vendors you can work with. The one I usually go to the most is this guy right here. He just buys and sells basic supplies. Also binoculars. I'm not really sure what you would use binoculars for in this game, because the monsters are usually right in your face depending on whatever zone you go to, but I guess they can be useful for scouting purposes if you're trying to, like, not get spotted by a monster, but they're all the way on the other side of a large zone, such as, you know, maybe Area 5 or 10 in the swamp, or... yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of, really. But still, it's always nice having the option to be able to, you know, zoom in, check out some monsters and their daily lives. This is the materials shop. You can get things for combining. It's also, I think, the only place in the game where you can buy specific monster parts, namely the fangs. I don't think he sells any other specific monster parts, you know, like hides or fangs of other monsters, but still, you know, it's always nice to have. And then you have, like, this mixer guy down here. He will mix together different items for you, and I believe it's a guaranteed chance that they will successfully mix. So I'll pay him 82 zenny to mix this, and boom, I got a Mega Potion. And I believe you also, yeah, you need the materials in order to make it. So this guy's just like, you know, if you want to make these, but you don't want to worry about the chance of it failing and getting garbage, just go to get this guy. He'll mix it free for a price, but it'll be guaranteed. This lady, I really can't remember what she sells, but I think it's food items. Oh, it's a quest. Okay, so it's for, she gives you items for a quest. He's the Combiner's Apprentice. He doesn't really do anything, but he does tell you about the volumes that you need to look for. We can worry about those later. So I think I'm going to switch back to a sword and shield for now. I really want to use the red saber, because I am quite fond of sword and shield in pretty much any Monster Hunter game, really. I think whenever Wilds comes out, I'm either going to be using the sword and shield or the charge blade the most, although I will be sure to give every weapon some representation. What I'll probably do is play through the quest and then slowly upgrade each weapon as I go along and just give them a try, because the thing with Monster Hunter is their weapons are pretty much... like the entire movesets are unlocked from the beginning. I think for this one we should try out a new map. We're going to check out the Volcano map, and we're going to resupply the Dragonator. So we will need to make sure we have plenty of pickaxes. We'll need to deliver 15 coal, but we'll also need cool drinks because it's a volcano. It's going to be really hot. Looks like everyone is up and rearing to go, and let's get going. Now, the volcano is a unique region. It does have a couple of area-specific monsters. Two of them are the Basarios and Gravios. We'll worry about those guys later on. I don't think the Gravios should be here, but sometimes in this game, the Rathalos can be here. Now, I'm not sure exactly when this started, but the Volcano map, I think it's the one in Freedom Unite. It's notorious, extremely notorious for a Rathalos fight, where the Rathalos, whenever it goes to rest, will go to a part of the map that is inaccessible to the player. So unless you have a ranged weapon, you cannot wake the Rathalos up. And I'm not really sure who decided that was a good idea, but I definitely wouldn't have. It feels like that was put in there as kind of like an artificial difficulty boundary, because I do think it is a later game quest, because, I mean, come on, it's the Volcano. It's like, this isn't, I'm not going to say it's basically the start of high rank, but this is where you're really dipping your toes into, okay, this is going to be harder than other parts of the game. Also, I didn't mean to use a mini whetstone, I meant to use rations. Of course, there are mail links here because these little suckers are everywhere in the entire series. There is no escaping them. They are everywhere. Just kill as many as you want and don't feel bad because they will never stop popping up. I swear to God, they're worse than rabbits. It's really interesting trying to figure out all the mining spots in this area because it's not quite as obvious in some areas as other parts of the game. Sometimes you really gotta pay attention and look for these 128 by 128 textures of just tiny little cracks in the wall. Let me see if anyone knows what large monster is here. While we're here, I think a funny little note about the Rathen is that it was actually so ugly whenever they first designed it, because Rathen was the first monster they made. Well, one of the first monsters. But whenever they made Rathen, basically the developers looked at it and said, that thing is so ugly, we don't want to put it on the front of our box. Because if you look at the icon for the first Monster Hunter game, if you bring up the title for it, it shows the Rathen. But the Rathalos is the monster that is used as the box art monster because the Rathen was so ugly, they made the Rathalos. I think that's a funny little bit of trivia. That actually made me kind of feel bad for Rathen, but I can understand that. The Rathalos is ugly, but the Rathen obviously looks even worse, so I probably wouldn't want to put it on the front of my game either if I wanted to advertise it to audiences. Since we're already almost done with the Cold Quest, let's go ahead and hunt a Basarios real quick. I think this would be a fun time to show off a couple of new monsters instead of just doing an episode with one. I know the last week, probably week and a half, I haven't shown anything new ever since the Rathalos hunt, so I think it's about time we freshen everyone's palates with something a little bit different than, you know, the drones and the Rathaloses and everything else. Oh! Oh, this is actually a Gravios. Oh my god. Suffering. Alright, well, something a little different today. I thought we were fighting Basarios. It's like a baby version of this. This is a Gravios. And as you can see, he does a lot of damage. So generally, it's advised to not fight a Rathalos, but since we got a party, yeah, maybe let's not. I think I'm ready to turn this quest in. So the Gravios is one of the more in-game bosses. I think it's probably 2/3 the way in. Alright, and just like that, we are finished with the mission. Alright, so now that we're in our new room, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you everybody so much who joined. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and leave a comment down below if you have any information to share for me on fighting Gravios. And if you'd like to join the Discord, where you can play with me and the rest of the community, or if you want to support the future of the channel, as well as recommending other games for me to try outside of Monster Hunter, check out the description down below. That way I can defeat a Gravios. Bye now.